Okay, and I am now in the Asia server, and I am going to be reviewing an Ayaka for once. I don't have Ayaka myself, so I probably am not the best person to be reviewing an Ayaka, since I don't know much about her, but I guess we'll just do it anyways, and as we can see before us, we have a level 60 Ayaka to review today, so let's check it out. I guess we will be reviewing, sorry, Ningguang as well. Oh boy, so level 60 Ayaka, 1000 attack, 37 elemental mastery, and let's take a look at the stats real quickly, or maybe not really quickly. Oh wow. Man, you stacked really hard on the critical damage over crit rate. I know a lot of players prefer to just stack crit damage over balancing out crit rate because they just want to have bigger numbers, which is okay, especially if you're trying to do big numbers. Yeah, because idle animation or idle chit chat's gonna get a little annoying. But for me, I prefer to at least have bare minimum 50% crit rate, so I'm gonna say this is kind of low, especially for a main DPS when you kind of want to do consistent damage overall, but it's okay. Energy recharge. How much energy does her burst take? Because if it's 80, this is kind of low in my opinion. 80? I would say 122 is a little low on the energy recharge end of things, although I also don't know how many energy particles her E provides. If you have like a decent cryo battery with her, then I guess it could be okay in the form of Diona, but that seems a little low. We've got cryo damage, which means you probably have a cryo goblet. Very good. I have no idea what this sword does. It's only at level 20. You know, despite it being purple on silver hair and on blue outfit, this is actually kind of aesthetically pleasing. Not gonna lie, this is pretty aesthetically pleasing. 20, obviously you're still work in progress. Ayaka like just came out. It hasn't been a week yet, so no surprise there. Farming for weapon mats is not the easiest thing to do at times, especially since the domain for the weapon just came out, and that's fine. Okay, let me just really quickly read what this sword does. Receive the to basically tailor-made for Ayaka. I mean, it's okay. Since she does require a lot of energy, you're probably not doing it too often, but I don't know. Oh wow, okay, so when energy is under 100%, wow, this weapon's pretty whack, not gonna lie. This is definitely her sword. Also believe that this sword is great on everyone except for Traveler, if I remember correctly. I'll get back to the sword later as well. Now let's take a look at the artifacts. Okay, 2-piece Blizzard Strayer, 2-piece Gladiator Finale. Not a bad build. I believe 4-piece would be better overall, but this is not bad. This is possibly her second best build as of right now. Possibly not, only because I don't know the new artifacts that came out with Inazuma. I don't have those two memorized to really know if they are going to be better or worse than this set over here. That means let's start with the flower with a nice 2-to-1 ratio on the crit rate to crit damage. This is actually really good. If you're trying to go for a reverse melt build, Elemental Mastery is great. That's basically a god piece. If Elemental Mastery was energy recharge instead, I would say that's a 100% god piece. And this one is again really good. Unfortunately rolled once into defense, it looks like, but you know what? That is okay because your crit rate and crit damage is nicely rolled. Nicely rolled. Man, this is turning out to be way better than Ace's review. Finally, we have the Sands, which is looking... Ooh. I mean, you got the crit damage, crit rate, but unfortunately it rolled into defense quite a bit, and you leveled it all up to level 20. I guess it was a battle between crit damage and defense percentage, which is the reason why you went all the way to 20, and you were hoping to get like your last one into crit damage or something else, but unfortunately you rolled a decent amount into defense percentage. But I would say this is still a good piece because of that crit damage. And we get the cryo goblet, obviously. Lots of energy recharge, which really helps for the 80 energy, so not bad. Unfortunately, the flat defense and flat attack is part of the substats, but again, goblet is one of the harder pieces to farm, so this isn't too bad. And you got a bit lucky. It didn't roll into defense at all. It rolled maybe once into flat attack. It completely dodged crit rate, it looks like, although it might have rolled once the crit rate now that I think about it. And mostly went into energy recharge, which isn't bad. It's not bad. And also, I believe Dark here is either free to play or low budget. I think you're free to play, but you've gotten a couple of Welcome Moons as a prize, if I remember correctly. So this is like uber low, basically free to play account. So I would say that goblet's not bad, or even say it's pretty good considering what kind of account this is. And then we have a crit damage helmet, and it rolled... Oh, ooh. A little unfortunate there with the rolls. A little unfortunate there. You probably went to 20 for the temptation on trying to get other substats, or just to get the main stat all the way up. It's not bad. It's just unfortunate on your RNG there. Looking at your stats overall, I would have gone crit rate, or tried to go crit rate if I could, to have more balanced stats overall to get closer to the 2-to-1 ratio. But if this is all you had, this is all you had to create the 2-piece bonus sets. Now, the crazier thing is what we're going to see next. I don't know if people in chat remember how many wishes Dark made, but basically Dark was one of those people that is a really big Ayaka simp, and he was saving his Primo Gems since... Wait, Dark, how long have you been saving? I don't think it was since the beginning of the game, since you have Tartaglia and Venti, but you've been saving for Ayaka for a while, and he made like, what, 250 wishes on Ayaka, if I remember correctly, and his RNG luck was pretty darn insane. It kind of shows with the C2, but he also ended up pulling, what, a Chi-Chi, a Jean, and a someone else as well? No, you only pulled 2 off banners, and then you pulled 3 Ayaka, so this is pretty insane. And let's see, at level 60, I don't expect your talents to be leveled up too high yet. 3-2-1, not bad. Or sorry, 3-2-3, which is pretty good. That is probably the way you want to prioritize things as well. With the way Ayaka's dash works, you get the cryo resonance on your normal attack, so you're still doing cryo damage with your normal attack, so leveling that up is good. And then her burst is pretty insane. It's pretty much a cryo version of Venti, but not as good, in my opinion. So yeah, I say a pretty good Ayaka that's on her way to be a really great Ayaka. And I mean, you got really lucky with your pulls. You even got the sword. Now, going back to the sword, level 20, you pre-farmed your artifacts, so that was even before you got the sword, so I'll ignore that. You're already farming up talents, which getting them to level 2 is really easy, so I won't really judge on that. But what I want to point out is that focusing on your weapon before you focus on talents is usually the better way to go, because you're increasing your base attack by leveling up your sword. And your base attack is probably the most important stat to be working on, because it really helps with your bonuses your artifacts do, especially all your artifacts that give attack percentage, because attack percentage is based off your base attack, and your base attack is based off the level and ascension of your character as well as your weapon. And if your weapon's low, that means the percentages of your artifact bonuses aren't going to be as high. But at the same time, you haven't really full-on focused on your talents yet. You're probably focusing on leveling up Ayaka first, which is what you want to do, and then probably want to go on your weapons, and then talents, and then if you haven't pre-farmed your artifacts, then you do your artifacts, and that's usually the better order you want to go on. Oh, and Dark is about to change into a 4-piece blizzard really soon, so he's not done farming artifacts, but he's almost there. I'm gonna assume you have the artifacts, you just haven't leveled them up to level 20 yet. Let's move on to his original OG main DPS with a level 90 Ning. Holy smokes, a level 90 Ning, probably Dark's main waifu or first main waifu. I don't blame him. With a Geomami herself, and level 90, so I can compare it to my Ning off the top of my head. I don't have that memorized, but I can already say off the bat around 100 more attack than I have, and that's pretty much the only thing I have memorized off my Ning. But let's take a look at her stats, and holy smokes, 200 crit damage, and basically 50% crit rate. This is like the way a lot of people like to their characters, is 50% crit rate and then the rest stacks on crit damage. I don't blame people that do that. That's really good, I would say. I mean, I would prefer, again, to be 50 plus. This 49.4 business is like damages my OCD a little bit. 100% energy recharge is actually really good on Ning because she doesn't need energy recharge, and not having extra points in energy recharge means you're putting points in other stats and hopefully better stats. Considering you have 200 crit damage, that is, this is pretty good. This is really good. 35% shield strength, so you have a 2-piece bolide, I would think. Maybe even a 4-piece. That'd be my guess. And let's take a look at your weapon. Lost Prit. What? Another 5-star weapon. Dark has more 5-star weapons than I do. I'm a little jelly right now. Level 90 crit rate. This is a really good weapon. The crit rate is really helping with your stats, which means that you're probably really going hard on stacking crit damage and probably not prioritizing crit rate at all, considering what your stats are. So I'm like genuinely curious to see what your artifacts are like on your Ning. But yeah, this is a pretty beastly Ning, straight up. This Ning easily stronger than mine. Increases movement speed by 10%, which is great for Catalyst users so that you can use your distance if we care about meta all that much. God dang. Okay, let's just quickly look at Constellation 6, as I would expect from main Ning, which probably a lot of people in the comments are really jealous about. And then finally, talents. Triple Crown Ningguang. Round of applause. A true Ningguang simp. A true Ningguang simp is before our eyes right here. And I would actually say triple crowning Ningguang is not a bad thing if she's your main DPS. Obviously, normal attack and burst is her meat and potatoes for her damage, but what a lot of people don't know or don't realize is that Jade Screen actually provides a decent amount of damage, and quite a bit actually, and it is kind of her only form, or her more ease of use form, to do AoE damage. I don't think a lot of people noticed that. You are a true simp. And we have a two-piece archaic, two-piece archaic Petra and two-piece retracing Bolide, which is either her third or fourth best build, if I remember off the top of my head. Really interesting. Two-piece is obviously easier to farm than a full four-piece set, so this I cannot really complain about or judge at all. But if she truly is your waifu, I might be a little judgy on how you are disrespecting her just a teeny bit, just a teeny bit. But I think you've jumped ship to Ayaka, so whatever. As I would have expected, you stacked on crit damage. Now, despite the two defense things, I don't judge this too badly. I judge it a bit because it's on your main DPS, and I feel like your main DPS needs to be better. But if this was a supporting Ningguang or a burst support Ningguang, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. That being said, you got really lucky, and I think you pushed for more luck. You only rolled once on flat defense, and everything else went on crit damage, so I say really good. The luck was on your side with these rolls on that flower, so good job. Also, HP is actually not the worst on Ningguang, because HP is attached to her wall shield, so I don't think HP is bad, so getting the flower to level 20 is pretty important, is not bad. Okay, let's take a look at the feather, and you get a little bit of crit rate, and again, stacked all in crit damage, which, I mean, looking at the way you were building it, I guess it's okay. You had flat defense, but it never rolled once on flat defense. You know, kudos to Dark's luck here. Never rolling on defense all that often, but holy smokes, 31 crit damage. That is... Oh, actually, I call this an off-god roll, because it rolled every single time on one single good stat. That has only happened to me on energy recharge. Maybe it might have happened to me on crit damage before, but I consider this an off-god roll, because it went everything into crit damage, and that's just straight up good. Good rolls. Decent pieces that get good rolls and become really good. Okay, this one's not that good. Okay, finally, a piece that is not that great, because it rolled once on defense percentage and once on flat defense at the very least, and then it rolled a bit on crit damage. I really want to keep because of the crit damage rolls. A bit unfortunate on the RNG on this one, but getting it to level 20 for this one isn't bad on this one. Where did you get your luck on your rolls? Who knows what sort of ritual he does? And now the Geo piece. Ooh, actually this one's not that good. But again, the Goblet is one of the hardest ones to farm for. So I guess I can be a little less judgy. You were lucky enough that it didn't roll on defense percentage, and it mostly rolled on flat attack, which I would take. I'd say rolling on flat attack is better than rolling on defense percentage, unless you're really struggling with survivability, which it's a PvE game. You don't really care about that. Rolled a little bit into attack, which is great, because stacking, if you're only stacking crit rate and mostly going on crit damage, you end up not doing good. You really want to spread out your stats among all the stats you want, so you do want a little bit more on attack percentage as well. But I say this is not bad. It's unfortunate that it went into flat attack quite a bit though. And last but not least, the Cryo Circlet. I'm gonna say this is a semi-new addition to your Ningguang, because you've been farming Blizzard like no other. Crit damage, as I would expect. Attack percentage is not bad. Again, this is another piece that's hard to farm, and it rolled at least once or twice in flat defense, once in attack percentage, and I can't tell if it rolled on HP. I'm gonna say no. I mean, you leveled it to 20 just to get the main stat up, so it's not that bad. This is an okay piece. You can do better. That being said, I say those two characters are really good. Overall, you're on a path to having a really strong account based off your 2 waifus. Although I personally prefer to have a balance in crit rate and crit damage, but if you're happy at being close to 50 or around 50% crit rate, then by all means do what you want to do. But if it was below, I don't know, 45%, I would judge. So I would say not bad, not bad, not bad at all. Okay, Dark, thank you for sticking around while you're still at work to review your 2 main DPSs. Holy smokes, wait. Level 90 Tartaglia, level 80 Bennett, level 80 Sucrose, and level 80 Venti, and level 80 Jean. You watched my stream while you upgrade my artifacts. Interesting. So that's how he gets his good luck.